Hello, this is my project for Mr. Shire's Horticulture class. This is the Integrated Pest Management project. Let's get started. Now, a common pest you can find pretty much anywhere is an aphid. Now, most aphids in mild climates reproduce asexually throughout the year, with females giving birth to live offspring as many as 12 times per day without mating. That's a lot of bugs. That's their big problem. They eat leaves fast. Is that very bad for like the plants, structure? Its leaves are gone, but it also sucks sap out of plants. That's even worse. That's like a mosquito, but they reproduce even faster. And they also eat your fingernails. That's real bad. That's no good. Now, at point 1 of identifying common insects, it says insects. So, therefore, the other insect I have chosen to go with is the winter moth. A bunch of leaves, like a lot. They go from November to January. So that's a pretty relatively short time span compared to the aphid. But like they can just eat stuff. They're a lot bigger, so they'll eat a lot more stuff. The aphid. Look at it. Beautiful. Great. Gorgeous. But on the inside, it's a little mischievous. Man. He's gonna kill your plants. And he's gonna like it. Okay? He's a monster. A bane on society. Let's study this awful creation, so we know how to defeat it. This is a leaf it's standing on, as you can tell by the green and leaf. These things, look at how zoomed in this leaf is. It's just like a regular tree leaf, and it looks huge. Therefore, this thing absolutely minuscule. You'll probably barely be able to see it because it's camouflaged. So they're tiny, hard to see, and like I discussed earlier, multiply like crazy. So how do we defeat these guys? Well, look at their structure. Weak looking limbs, their antenna, very dainty. Look at that eye. It doesn't look of the highest degree. They might seem intimidating at first glance, but their weakness isn't. But they might seem strong in the fact that you can barely see them, and there's just thousands of them. But if there's like a bunch of them next to each other, not only will the lighter green stick out, basically destroying their camouflage in this specific instance at least, they're weak. It won't take a whole lot of pesticide, just like heck, one spray of your average pesticide would probably be too much to take care of this little guy. So, but you might say, but I have an aphid on my thing, but I don't want to waste my pesticide. That's it. I'll talk about this later in the video. But you want it, it's not that bad if there's just one. But let's just say, aphid here, aphid there, and it's everywhere. That's when you bust out the spray in the video. Okay, as you can see, look at it. Noticeably larger. If you look at them, their antennas, noticeably stronger looking, more advanced looking eyes, better camouflage. It's hard to tell that this is better since it's so zoomed in. Look at that. You can tell it's the winter moth because and falls down. So what's the best way to destroy this devious little or larger die. Okay? Best way? Well, they take a while to reproduce. They're basically the inverse of the aphids, where there could be 1,000 aphids in one square inch that you can kill easily with one bug spray. There's probably like only 10 of these. There's probably only one of these in every square inch. Heck, square foot, I'm willing to bet. And these guys, you're wasting a lot less spray on these guys compared to the aphids. So if you're starting to have a bit of a problem with them, like you see, there's just one, he's just eating all your stuff, just spray it. But you don't. Now that pretty much covers points 1 through 3. But now it's time for point 4, types of insect damage. There's, of course, the damage that comes from the insects chewing on the plants. The damage that comes from like stuff piercing into it and sucking stuff like sap out of the trees. Some plants, some bugs even burrow into leaves and make tunnels inside leaves. Other things, they insert themselves into the plant's tissue. Or there are also stuff that burrows into the wooden structure of plants. Now that covers point 4. Points 5 through 8 are the other types of common, other than insects, pests you may come across in your time gardening or planting a tree or whatever. Weeds. They tend to overgrow or choke out more desirable plants. We all know them, the dandelions of the world. They're everywhere. You can't go 5 seconds without finding them, and they could, take nutrients from more desirable plants. And then viruses. That's right, plants. They're pretty much function similar to viruses in humans. They go in, they mess some stuff up, eventually they kill the thing they're in, or the immune system, or or over time they just get out. Now, funguses, we've all heard of mushrooms. Now, mushrooms, unlike regular plants, or unlike plants in general, they can't make their own nutrients. You know how the flowers, it goes up, it photosynthesizes, right? They can't do that. So they get on like a dead tree stump or a living tree, and they just take its stuff. Similar story to the weeds. Honestly, it's there until you get rid of it. Now, bacteria can damage tissues, cause wilting, necrosis, soft rot, or even plant tumors. Crazy. Now that covers points 5 through 8. Point number 9. The one the whole title is based off of. Integrated pest control techniques. Now, integrated pest control techniques are when you see that there's a pest and you use a spray or even another plant that you're not going to harvest, but these things, they'll eat it. Stuff like that. Stuff to to manage. Either contain them to a smaller area or manage them by genocide. They're there to manage it. Now, there's a 4-step plan that I got to help you with your integrated pest management techniques. First, you need to set action thresholds. Like, if just one of your 100 blueberry bushes has like a couple ladybugs on it, you'll be fine. But if 50 of your 52 blueberry bushes has 8 million ladybugs on it, you have issues. You gotta be like, okay, if it's like below this, if it's above this, it's bad, but if it's below this, it's good. We can live with that, and that could change like time of the year, plants you have. Second thing you gotta do, you gotta monitor the pests. If you don't know what the pests are, where they are, or heck, what they're doing, you don't know how to stop them. Like if you got like a pest that you don't know what it is, that's like resistant to this spray, or you spray the leaves and it eats like the trunk of it, well then, you wasted your money. Now, prevention. This could be a number of things, from having a greenhouse where you keep your more valuable plants away from the elements, or, like I said earlier, having more undesirable plants on like the outskirts that the pests find more attractive, more nutritious, stuff like that. And then finally, the most important part of the integrated pest management technique is control. If it's above this line, all your greenhouses, and you know what they are, and you know what they're doing, where they are, and your prevention methods, they've fallen through. This is when you bust out the pesticides, the stuff, the stuff to get rid of the pests. You take off the funguses, you give your plant an antibiotic, you take care of it. Make sure it doesn't happen for a hot minute. And that covers Section 9, Integrated Pest Management Technique. Time for points 10 through 13. This is talking about pesticide labels and how not to kill yourself with pesticides. So, first of all, when handling a pesticide, you should read the label. The label's very important. Before you even buy it, you should read the label. Okay? You should see what equipment you need to properly utilize it without damaging yourself, proper dosages, what it will kill, so you know that, hey, this stuff will kill the stuff I need dead. You need to have, if you're allergic to oxymoron ibitosin, and it has oxymoron ibitosin, well, that's no good. You gotta read it, you gotta follow the directions. If it says wear a long sleeve shirt, wear a long sleeve shirt. If it says don't breathe in, don't breathe it in. Just use common sense. Now, there are some elements that you might not understand on the back of the label. A couple examples of those are: responsible for controlling the chemicals responsible for controlling pests will be labeled with the letter B. So pesticides, they have to have a thing basically saying this is how toxic it is to a people, this is how toxic it is to a dog, cat, mouse, stuff like that, which will be indicated by the letter C. And that covers points 10 through 13. There are a couple points which I didn't cover in my presentation, but those, share your findings with the class, which is why I'm recording. Share my findings with you, and all you people. And you, Mr. Shaw, you're probably off that way over in that direction. Next is neatness, professionalism, and organization. I feel like I've made a strong case for my organization because for everything it just goes down the list for the most part. I did group some stuff together that I felt was similar enough, but like weeds, viruses, fungus, and bacteria, like those, and the stuff about insects at the top. But I'd say it's been very neat, very professional, very well organized. And finally, the last point, where 20 points, that's 20% of our grade on this assignment, is focus, presentation, and etiquette. I would say that I've been very polite to you, and I would say that I've been relatively on topic for the most part. Bye. Bye. Oh, I gotta turn off the camera. Bye. Leave.